Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? Today I'm going for autumnal rather than Christmas. I thought it's a while since I've used Lovely and Bijou, so I wanted to use him. So colours I'm going to go for today, I'm going to start with Pinecone. And this vine branch, again, are very useful. And sometimes it's nice to get older stamps out, maybe ones you haven't used for a while. So just going to stamp. I just need something for Bijou to be able to sit on. So I'm thinking this should be enough. So before I stamp my surrounding foliage, I'm thinking let's stamp our main guy. Now I'm actually going to come into the Portobello, only because if I go a slightly lighter colour, that'll help him blend in, won't it? And all we're going to do is sit him, and I want his feet actually on the branch. And again, there's a lot of detail, so don't lift that stamp up too quickly. But there we go, just sat beautifully. So I can come in now and just add a little bit more foliage. So back to the darker colour. And I'm just building up that lovely design. So I think this, I like that shape there. Such a useful stamp this. So that's the vine branch. Now, when I got to this stage, I wanted to bring in my lovely star pines, and I love these little stamps. And it just brings in a bit more texture without having to stamp leaves. Sand Dune. And with it being a lighter colour, it'll just go into the background a bit more. Now, with this one, I don't really want that branch so much. So if I ink up in the corner, I can get more, if I show you, of the actual almost fronds rather than the branch bit. Now again, I don't want to overcook it with this. I just want a nice amount. So I'm just going to work my way around and have a look. Now, there are some spaces, but I'm happy with that. And I can always come back at the end if I want some more. So my tip is almost stop before you think you should. But with the single one, I'm going to come in with Portobello now. So it's a little bit deeper. And what it'll do, look, when I stamp it, that gives me another layer. So I've got the darkest of the berries in front, then this in the mid, and then the original Sand Dune further back. So it gives me more perspective. And I'm just going to add a few of these. And again, I don't want to add too many. So I've got that lovely shape, and it almost mimics the shape of his head. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I've got little bits of white space, which again is nice. So I'm going to add the moon mask there. So as always, let's turn it upside down. It'll work better. Sahara, just to give that lovely sort of earthy colour and a vintage feel. Now I'm going to start at the corner this time, and it doesn't matter if I go over the owl because I'm going to colour him in browns, so we're actually covered that way. So it's nicer than having to think, oh, need to go around the owl. I'm just going to go over where we've stamped. I'm going to leave a little area of white just around. So very simply, look, I've just gone round the moon, round where we stamped, and left a couple of areas lighter, just because I think that works better. And now to bring in some confetti. As you know, it's a combination I've really loved using recently. And I'm just going to bring the confetti in that corner and then go right across the moon. So I've re-inked, but I'm going to go back to that corner. Didn't want to go straight across the moon in case there was too much colour. And I just want to bring in that lovely confetti into those areas where I've left the lighter colour, just to add that lovely pinky tones. But also we've got that cloud going right across. And it's up to you how much pink. I just want it nice and light, but again, you know your design. You might want to come in and add strong pink, but it's a lovely combination. If it's not one you've used before, Sahara and Confetti, I think, are just beautiful. Now, I think you could leave it like this. And now, if you wanted, you could decoupage. He looks fabulously decoupaged. But we're going to come in with some colour. And these are my Modulars pencils. And we've got number 4, number 30, number 5, number 9, 25 and 33. Cloth to lean on. And I'm just going to very quickly, before we start, just add a little bit of brown to the lovely branch here that is sat on. And I'm just going here with a mid-brown, and then I'll come in with a deeper brown just to add a little bit of tone. So I'm just adding it at the bottom, and where Tracy's drawn, I mean, the detail's amazing. She's drawn some lovely knots in the wood, so you can add that darker colour. And you know what I'm like, you'll take a lot longer than me. You could just make yourself a brew and sit and add colour. Maybe stamp up 2 or 3 of these and colour them all at the same time. Now again, his eyes, it's up to you. I'm just adding a green. I just fancied him having beautiful green eyes. Some orange. And again, the way I'm going to approach this is I'm just sort of going to play and add some colours around and just play with colour. And I'm thinking I want a nice bright combination of sort of oranges and yellows, and then we can add in the browns. But what I love about this is it's very much, everybody's different, and you can choose. I mean, it could be a snowy owl, you could actually do it the proper colour of an owl, but I tend to just add, I have this sort of, well, you know me, I just play, so I just sort of go for adding, I want some yellow in here, some highlight to bring out that yellow. And the way I approach colour, and again, I know I'm different, I just sort of, I'm not pressing on very heavily, because what I'm doing is just basically adding a nice light amount of colour, and then I'll come in at the end and almost blend it all together, because I just want my owl, but it might be you want certain colours in certain places, and I know there's some of you out there that do the most amazing colouring. I just want to come in now with a darker colour look and go all the way around. And you see the difference on that. For me, it really just makes the eyes pop. It's a bit like adding mascara. Although I don't wear makeup, so I say that, but... And I'm just thinking, if I had a couple of dark areas down here, it just gives the illusion. And then a couple of light areas. Right, now I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I've got this is the number 9, and it's sort of a bit of a beigey brown pinky colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm pressing a little bit harder now, because this is where I'm going to blend all the colours together. Now you could use your water brush and blend the colours. You could use a clear wink of Stella and do your wink of colouring. But I'm just using this beigey pinky colour. I want to bring in those pinky tones. And I just find for me, now it blends all those colours together. And it just means that my odd bits of colouring everywhere are just blended nicely. And I love the way, can you see, it's bringing in that, reflecting those colours with the Sahara. And just for me, that's the way. But as I say, you've probably got a really good way that you colour. So you just have fun and you add colour. That just needed blending a little bit more. And for me, as I say, I'm very light, but then when I'm blending, I know I can press a little bit harder. Right, happy with that. And this really, it's quite a quick design to do. But as I say, you can, now, gel pen, sorry, you know what I'm like, I always test the white on the back. So if ever you get a design of mine, don't look on the back, because that's probably where I've tested my colour. And I'm just going to go over, add a couple of highlights here. The moon's here, so this side will sort of have those lovely highlights. And on these beautiful berries, we'll just have a couple. I don't want to overdo it. Just a couple. And then I'm going to add some lovely faux bleaching in the sky. So I've got my fan brush in my water pot. Very important for me, give it a good tap. If I don't, I find my almost like my water splats are too big to start off with. So it's something I spent time working out. Well, you know what I'm like. I do it wrong, get a big water splat, realise why, and then that means I can come in and let you know. That's my job, to do it wrong first. We've got a lovely vine on here. Now, it's up to you. I was a bit torn. I'm coming in with a metallic red in the Signo pens, but I have got a gold, and I must admit I was quite tempted for the gold, but I went for the red, for those pinky tones. But I think it would look lovely. I might have to do the design again, actually, and do it in gold, and then decide which one I like the most. But just follow that lovely vine. I'm just going to add a little bit down there. Now, it might be if you wanted to add some of the berries with the pen as well, but it's really up to you. Also, glossy accents on his eyes would look fabulous. Now, you can see the faux bleaching is just starting to take effect. Look, you can see that colour change. Now, the best tip I can give you is you decide how much colour change you want. Now, I just want it to be mottled. I don't particularly want it to look like snow. I just want it to be mottled so that this design could be used for any time of year. So my suggestion is give it a blot with your kitchen roll. And then that way, I mean, look at that. I love it. It's almost like stars. Now, it could be you suddenly decide you want to stamp some stars there. I mean, I love that. And that's just totally natural, isn't it? You cannot make that happen. You could do this 2 or 3 times and it'll never be the same. So just for my finishing touch today on this, I do love this, but it needed something a bit extra. And what I'm going to do is come in with liquid pearls, and I've gone for rose gold. Again, I couldn't decide between a pinky tone, but I've gone for the lovely tones. Now, liquid pearls is a tinker, a bit like stickles, it can have wind. So my suggestion is pop it on your mat first, just to make sure it's working. And I'm just going to turn this round. Now, again, you could put it where the little berries are, but I want to almost make this as extra berries where I've stamped those lovely pines. And again, my suggestion with this is almost touch the card and lift up. For me, the best way it works is to lift up. You've more chance of getting a nice dome. And almost don't be afraid of it. Don't overthink it. Just dab and lift. And this will dry hard. And yes, you can pop it in the post, no problem. But it just adds, just need another little one there. Just adds another little dimension and something a bit different to the design. So that one, as I say, was rose gold. And the last finishing trick is one of our lovely sentiments. And I'm going to go for quiet time. So this is one of the sticker sentiments. And again, remember in the pack you get black, white and vintage. And I'm going to put that because I think he's there going, do you know what, you're all asleep, I'm sat up here, maybe it's just daybreak or sunset and he's having a lovely quiet time. As I say, perfect retirement card. And there's the finished. And as I say, these dome beautifully. And it just gives something a bit 3D. So again, it's nice to have texture, it's nice to feel something. So as always, thanks for popping in. I hope you have fun and I hope you create something similar. So you take care. I'll see you again soon. Love from me. Bye for now.